Right, welcome back to Richard's Racing. My name's Martin, and yeah, it's another week here and another load of cars for Dream Car giveaways we've been preparing. Let's start with a little bit of update on the Cosworth, which you saw last time. We've totally redone the underside. We've given it a fresh coat of Raptor, actually matching the colour, so it's like a nice blue underneath. And we've also just come to the subframe you saw last time was all rusty and horrible. We've had everything stripped down, sandblasted, powder coated, all the smaller bits and all the bolts zinc plated, brand new bushes in there. So this is like practically ready. We're just waiting for a little bit of ramp time to get all of this loaded back onto the car, all the lines, fuel lines back in, all cleaned and nice. And that should be the whole underside of that car rejuvenated. Then we can start driving it around again, run the engine in, and then the last piece of the puzzle will be getting it off to the paint shop. That should be coming to an end really, really soon. Moving on, we've got some cars outside. We'll go outside and have a look. So yeah, we've got another Evo 9 here. This has just come in, alignment. We've done a full check over. A couple of little small things up with that we've done. We're literally just waiting for some brand new K-Sport rotor discs for it because they're worn out. Then we've got a really nice Mark II RS 1600 rep with a YB Cosworth in it. Again, we've fully appraised that. Unfortunately, on a road test, we found out that it was jumping out of fifth gear. So we got the gearbox out of that at the moment. That's gone off to a specialist to be rebuilt, and hopefully that will come back fresh, put that in, and it'll be on the page. And then today, we're gonna show you basically the process of what we do to a lot of cars, lower and alignment. So we've got a really nice adjustable height spring kit we're gonna put on this GR Yaris, and we're going to show you basically the alignment process. So let's get on with it. We've got a lovely GR Yaris. These things are really cool. Not many manufacturers make like a homologated special kind of rally inspired hot hatch nowadays. So it's really cool to get our hands on one of these GR Yarises. Obviously, we want to give it a bit of a sprinkle of DCG love, and that's in the form of lowering a car. I think they have plans to get some nice wheels for this and a few other little mods maybe. We are going to fit this spring kit from String Theory Garage. They're actually height adjustable, so we got really nice spring perches there. Simon's just cracking on. He's done one side already, and then we're going to show you the process of doing the other side. And with pretty much every car we see, when you lower it, you've got to do the alignment. A lot of people just smash their springs on, and then the car doesn't actually drive as good as it should. And I think these drop the suspension up to about 30 mil. So it's not a great deal, but it's kind of developed to still work really well with the suspension, and it should make this just that little bit more nimbler. Front is basically done now. Moving on to the back. Right, that is effectively it. What we're going to do now, because we've basically set them to their lowest position, so we know that's going to be 35 mil. So now we're going to put all the wheels on, get it on our setup tables, and then see how it sits really. You've got to kind of expect with new suspension that the actual springs will settle slightly. So it might not be the final height that the car will sit. And on many occasions, we've sometimes, especially with coilovers, we've had to raise the car up 5 mil afterwards, after we've done a drive, or it's been, in some cases, done up to 100 miles, and then the car's actually settled down 5 millimeters, and it might be too low, so we've had to raise them up again. The alignment of the wheels is correct at factory ride height, but as with all suspension, as the arms move up, the toe changes and the values change. So the camber will usually, as suspension travels, it gains camber. So when you lower a car, the static alignment has changed quite drastically. You know, 35 mil, that's almost at some suspension travel. So the values of camber will have increased, the toe would have changed. So what we want to do is set it at the static ride height and then reset the toe and camber settings if they're adjustable. A lot of cars are not adjustable. And then in many cases, if you want like a fast road setup or a more track inspired setup, you'll add more camber anyway, so you'll start with a lot more camber and maybe more aggressive toe that makes the car react a little bit better to corners and you know, being stable at high speeds under braking. So like factory settings are kind of a trade-off for the best handling and the best tyre wear. But then if you want a more aggressive car to handle better, you're going to have a little bit more tyre wear, so you'd have more camber and you'd have a little bit more toe in places. Ben at String Theory has actually given me their best settings, which they found work the best for a fast road setup on these cars, so we're going to just replicate that basically. These cars, we can't adjust the camber on them. There are bits you can buy to add more camber, but you know, this is only a fast road car. Somebody's going to enjoy it, and we want them to not wear the tyres out really quickly. If they want to, which a lot of people do, you know, they'll win the car and they want to take it to the next level, they can do. Or they want to take it on track, they might want to add a little bit more camber. But we're just going to focus on making it a little bit, just a slight tweak on the toe side, check we've got no real untoward readings in the camber department, and just set it up to be a nice, simple handling car, how Toyota developed it basically. Just a little bit lower so it looks better. We've just put it on our setup tables, and now Simon's just putting on our string alignment kit. I've used this kit, I do drifting professionally, and we take this kind of kit with us to the track to make small adjustments to alignment. So with that being said, we're kind of like really used to using this setup. It's pretty cheap and easy to buy the kit, and you can get really good results with it if you know what you're doing. Once we've got it set, especially the first time after it's been set down onto the tables, we like to just rock the car backwards and forwards, and that kind of takes out any flex in the tyre that could give us a slight reading, because we are working within halves of millimetres here. Another thing to note is, like, you might get it all bang on, but as soon as you tighten up the lock nut on the track rod end, it'll actually pull the alignment up to 0.5 mil sometimes. We've double checked it side by side, checked the box. We're happy with the front now. We're going to move on to the back. We are good. Quickly fly on the camber gauges. Basically, we're mainly checking they're even because we know it's not adjustable. So we're just seeing that they're within 0.1 or 0.2 of each other. And 2.1 on the rear. We're very even there. Before we get it off the setup tables, I'm just going to quickly check the ride height, because obviously we've got adjusters. We've set them all exactly at the same height, but it's good practice just to check that the actual physical ride height of the car is exactly the same.
496. We are within 1 millimetre
ride height around the car, so I'm happy with that. Obviously it's going to settle a little bit. It should all settle evenly, and that means our job here is done. Right, welcome back. It's been like 3-4 weeks maybe since you were last here. And yeah, basically we've had quite a bit of progress on the projects we were showing you before. The Civic's back, quite a lot of progress on the Escort Cosworth there. And this thing's back. It's been away for a few weeks. As you can see, it's like slightly different colour. So that's been off to a PPF wrapping company and been wrapped in this pretty cool metallic green. This thing in the sunlight, when they dropped it off, man, it was like the sparkles in it were popping. Stage 2 of this we're doing today is we've got some nice side skirts, a spoiler, then we've got another aftermarket front lip, and also we're going to fit the wheels. So obviously last time you saw that we lowered it, the standard wheels looked a bit lost, as you'll probably agree. So yeah, we've upgraded, we've gone for some Enkai NTO 3s, one of Dream Car's favourite wheels of time. As you've probably seen before, we've been fettling with those. So yeah, we're going to get into it, get these fitted, and hopefully not run into too many issues. So first things first, we've test fitted a wheel because obviously we couldn't wait. So we've already come across the spokes on these wheels just skim this caliper very slightly. So we needed to put on a 5mm spacer to make it clear. I'm just finishing that off. Simon's been preparing the rear spoiler, currently just drilling that out, mounting that on, and then the whole unit should just bolt onto the top and give this thing one cool look. That's good, and now we got perfect good amount of clearance between the caliper, and hopefully they won't poke too much and rub. Done. Looks nice. Nice little extension A little bit more aggressive on the side. Simon's just got the front lip on, just a little bit lower than the stock. I think it will give that much more aggressive look. I think it looks good. So one more side skirt to do, then onto the magical spoiler, and then this thing should be done. Oh, I like it. Let's get the spoiler on. That is it done. We've got a few hours of sunlight left, so I reckon let's get it out in the sunlight, see the sparkle, stand back and enjoy what we've kind of created here. So let's go, let's get it outside.
I got it, I got it, I got it, I got it. No, really, don't worry. I don't want no Burberry glowing like the sun, or maybe a little Mercury shooting like I'm Booker, but nobody ever heard of me. You don't got 5 O's when I say a word to me. Nah, but really, y'all been acting silly. I could care less.
Yeah, we just want to check that they're wider tyres, wider wheels. Want to check that they don't rub on a road test. Feels really planted, even more so. I mean, Yokohama tyres are really good, so we've got a little bit of extra girth in the tyre, a little bit more contact patch, and yeah, the thing feels planted. It looks cool, it handles awesome. These things are such a joy to drive, you know. They're small, lightweight, they have loads of, you know, rally heritage, all built into the chassis. Loads of people say these things are an absolute laugh to drive, you know. Sounds good. Not a single rub. Oh, we're good. It's got a Miltech exhaust on it, so it sounds mildly better. Well, quite a bit better than stock, actually. I think it sounds really good. It's not over the top stupid loud. I am impressed. I think the best thing they did to this car was wrap it in that green. It's just such an individual look for this Yaris. Coupled with the wheels, the Tom's kit as well, just the aggressive look of the side steps, the front lip, the big WRC style spoiler, it just looks incredible. And I can't believe someone is going to win this car for a little pocket full of change. I don't know what they're going to put it up for, but somebody is going to get an awesome win here. The car looks incredible, it handles and sounds awesome too. So look at what we created, it's awesome. Now you're here, I'm just going to show you some of the other little projects that you saw in the last time you were here. So yeah, we've got the little Civic back. This is literally just come back today from a full respray. This is back now. We'll just give this one last final check over and it's off to HQ. Mechanically, we did the oil leak. You saw that it had an oil leak. That actually didn't have a sump gasket fitted to it, so it just had quite a bit of sealer. So we've taken that off, put a genuine Honda sump gasket on it, fixed the broken bolt that was snapped off in there. What else have we done? The arches were rubbing here on the tyres. So we've clearanced all this really nicely, done a geo alignment on it as well. This does not rub, and same on the back as well. We had to do a little bit of clearance, just a little bit, but we still left a good bit of arch lip there, just clearance a little bit, so the rear tyres don't rub. That was it, mainly it was a paint, and look at it now. Then we saw the underside of this car that was basically, we stripped it all back, got all the under sealer off it. As you can see, we've done the Raptor. Since then, we've put everything back on. So we've got all the gearbox, all the prop shaft, all, you know, all refurbished, all with nice zinc bolts, the rear subframe, the diff. Basically, kind of looks brand new. A little bit better, maybe. Brand new set of Evo coilover shock absorbers and springs. So this is all done. Car is running now. Next step of this is it's going off to be painted. So that's basically it. What we got else? We got another Escort Cosworth of Dream Cars. This came in for an appraisal. We found a little small issue with the gearbox. Just had a call saying that's been done, fixed by the people who built it originally, because it's not a very old gearbox anyway. So yeah, that's another one that's very near completion, and then hopefully we'll get some new projects and show you some new stuff. I shine hotter than the stars in the night.